Gizmo's origins are explored in the all-new animated series on Max, Gremlins: Secret of the Mogwai. So let's see if the series is worth your time. Hey everybody, my name's Justin. Here I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services like Max, not HBO Max, just Max now.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. Gremlins: Secret of the Mogwai takes viewers back to the 1920s Shanghai, where the Wang family meets the young Mogwai called Gizmo. So this was an animated series that I don't particularly think that we needed, but I really liked the Gremlins film, so there's part of me that was very curious of an origin story for Gizmo and exploring the past in the 1920s. And we have our character that was the shop owner in the beginning of the Gremlins film. When I watched Gremlins, I didn't have a lot of questions about Gizmo and his past and the mythology about the Mogwai. I just enjoyed it. I understood the rules of not getting it wet, not feeding it past midnight, and not shining light on it. And that's explored in this animated series, but they dive so deep into the mythology of the Mogwai and Gizmo and them turning into these gremlins. And there's a lot. There's magic, there's teleportation, there's just a lot going on in here. And I found a lot of it to be really fun. It's got a great sense of adventure in exploring this young boy who eventually was that shop owner. We see this very sweet relationship developing throughout as he tries to protect Gizmo, not get it wet, not feed it after midnight, not let it have light shined on him. We see this fun relationship that does develop. And there are other characters that join in on our adventure, but for the most part, it's that relationship that develops between the young boy and Gizmo, and it's very adorable. Gizmo is so cute, and here we see him interact a lot more than we had before in the Gremlins film, and we see him kind of like take on these adventure role, and it's just adorable. And if you really like that Gremlins film and how cute Gizmo was in that movie, there's going to be a lot of moments in here where you look at Gizmo and just appreciate also the animation, but also the character as well, and exploring a lot of that mythology, which is nicely developed throughout. We kind of just start with the rules behind the Mogwai and not getting wet and all of that, and then really just adding in these new layers as we explore like the mythology behind it, how people had created the Mogwai, the secrets as well. There's a lot of big things that are revealed for the Mogwai that aren't explored into the movies, so it's just mostly some added depth to these characters. And like I said, when I watched the Gremlins film, it's not something I felt like I needed, and still here watching this animated series, it's not something I feel I do need, but I do appreciate what I watched. It's a fun adventure series with some beautiful animation, exploring this little creature that I thought was so cute in the Gremlins film, and seeing it in a new animated form is quite fun. Sam Wang accepts this dangerous task to take Gizmo home and embarks on a journey through Chinese countryside. Sam and Gizmo are joined by a teenage street thief named Elle, and there they encounter monsters from Chinese folklore. Then there's this power-hungry industrialist named Riley Greene that has this small army of gremlins. So we see like this battle going on between Sam and Gizmo and Elle, and then this industrialist as well. So they're back and forth, and the gremlins also have a chance to grow, the evil gremlins, and seeing them kind of all form together, growing this army and watching them interact with this power hungry person and then try to fight off Gizmo as well. Throughout these 10 episodes, 22 minutes each, we have this beautiful look of the Chinese countryside, also the folklore as well, but you get a lot of action throughout. At times it's very simple and personal when you're developing that relationship between Sam and Gizmo, and then you get a lot of fun action scenes and some thrilling moments about middle half of the series when you dive a little bit deeper into the mythology of the Mogwai and the countryside, and the creation as well, and the secrets behind the Mogwai as well. That's where a lot of the fun moments do come out. The animation's really good in here. It brings out the cuteness of Gizmo and the designs for these characters, the countryside, the beautiful scenery that we get throughout, and also those thrilling moments as well. I appreciated the animation from Warner Brothers Animation in here throughout these episodes. I do think at times we added a little too much mythology, whereas that Gremlins movie was quite simple with Gizmo. Just you have these roles and they stuck to it, or didn't stick to it. But at times you feel like they're just adding in a little too much when it comes to exploring the past in the 1920s and everything we learned about the Mogwai. At times it feels a little bit ridiculous, like the amount of things that we are adding on to it. It relies heavily on magic throughout to tell the story of the Mogwai and the origin for the characters. I like how they expanded on the rules of the Mogwai, but it just was a little bit too much when you started to have teleportation and magic and people can shapeshift as well. A lot of things going on that I felt like it wasn't really necessary. They were trying to answer, they were trying to just add to this character. And if you had questions while watching the first Gremlins film about where did this character come from, and I wanted to know more about that, I feel like they just did a little bit too much and they gave us a lot that felt a little bit unnecessary. But nonetheless, Gremlins Secret of the Mogwai, the animated series, I did enjoy it. It's very brief. It's easy to get through. I'm not sure how much they can expand on this series. They did a fine job of introducing Sam, the future owner of the shop, in the first Gremlins film, which was fun to see. The voice acting in here is really good. There's a lot of popular people as well, and the animation is very beautiful. The countryside, the small textures and details that we get for the scenery is beautiful to look at. I wasn't invested in so much of the mythology and the magic behind it. At times it was simple and I enjoyed that, just looking at the rules and expanding on that. But once we got more into like some crazy things like gods and the Mogwai and all of that and the secrets as well, I kind of checked out and just focused more on the animation and the characters. But if you really like Gremlins and you have fond memories of watching that movie and appreciate the characters and the creatures as well, maybe check it out. You could learn some things about the Mogwai, maybe some things that you really don't think you needed to know, but it's there. So before I give you my score for Gremlins Secret of the Mogwai, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit the subscribe button to get it all in one spot. I'm going to go ahead and give Gremlins Secret of the Mogwai a B-. Thank you guys for checking out my review for Gremlins Secret of the Mogwai, the new animated series on Max. Have you guys seen it by chance? What'd you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.